Everything will be fine, Woody. And I don't know if you got all the questions you wanted out today, but I gotta just say goodbye, and I'll come back some other day.
Time to go?
Yeah.
It's a sad goodbye. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's not goodbye. It's farewell.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to come back, because if Harley gets all these chances, so do I. And I'm a little nervous today, and I know I can come back and calm
next
down and talk like a human being. Scout's honor.
Yes. Well, you want to tell everybody where they can find you everywhere online?
Yeah, I'm Shoenice on YouTube. Shoenice, like a nice shoe backwards. Hey, Woody, are you all right, bro? Is this always your personality when you're talking to people?
Not always. No, I feel like you're really perplexing me, man. Like I don't know.
Sparky, come here.
See, this is an example. Your attention span doesn't last long enough to put like plates and forks and knives on a dinner
That's what I tell
table.
all my ex-girlfriends. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't sit in a movie for more than 10 minutes. I'm going to the bar next door.
I haven't seen you on one topic for more than 30 seconds. It's amazing to me. How does a human exist with like a goldfish attention span?
I know, it's kind of crazy, man.
Kinda.
But that's what I mean, bro. Stick with me and you'll see the whole master plan when it comes to an end, bro.
Uh-huh. In 10
I appreciate
years?
your time, and I'm going to leave you here.
All right.
Thank you for having me on, and thank you for the glue.
Sure.
Thank us for the glue at the end. That's interesting.
Okay, that was that's the quietest I've been for the first, like, how long have we been doing the show? Hour and a half?
It was hard to get anything in.
There was no reason to try and break in, because that was just interesting stuff, in the same way that, like, looking through a book of Ripley's Believe It or Not is interesting. Like, you're like, oh man, I would never want fucking toes like that guy, but that's pretty neat. Like, listening to the way he thinks. And see, I said this while you were gone, Kyle, I think, is that he couldn't be fully crazy because he has too many prepared jokes and is intentionally funny too often.
Yeah.
That sure. If he were actually, like, Chiz thinks he's actually, like, for real crazy. Yeah, I think that Chiz will change his mind after watching this.
Yeah, I think so too. He is bizarre and funny though. That was interesting. And he told more bad jokes than good ones, which I also liked.
I like that. I'm gonna be that's the kind of, like, interview. Which, first of all, I fucking love how he framed it as us all just wanting to interview him. Where he's next question, next question, next question, keep it going. But oh man, I'm gonna be like 4 years from now. I'm just gonna start thinking about that and be like, God, what the fuck was up with that? Like, this is a life.
I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. I think I think there was not much show there at all. I think that's the guy. I bet right now he's not much different than he was a minute ago. And I don't know how he even gets through his day. Like, how do you drive someplace 10 minutes away when you change topics every 15 seconds?
Well, he's clearly a peculiar guy. I would say he's definitely going to struggle in day-to-day life with just his sort of manic nature that I don't think is an act. Some of that was an act and some of it wasn't. He's an odd guy who puts on an act. That's what we got here. So just keep that in mind.
Dude,
man,
was the first hour of this show really good or really bad? I don't know. We've talked about having a Wack Pack for years.
I don't think he's Wack Pack material, because to be a Wack Packer, so this is a discussion they have on the Stern Show all the time about who is in the Wack Pack. They stop and, like, classify it and, like, well, this guy, but not that guy. So for one thing, they can't have a job or a regular source of income that they can, like, keep up with. Like, if they're able to, like, follow a schedule and show up and work for a boss, they can't be in the Wack Pack. It's usually good if they're not really. I know he kind of fits that profile. It's usually good if they're not really even aware of where they are in the world. Like, they're just kind of in their own little world.
2 for 2.
Yeah, right. So far, we're batting 1,000.
It's also good if there's some sort of a freak. You know, they've got some sort of weird thing about them, like they fart continuously, or they queef, or they like be vomited on, or they eat glue. So there's that. But there's the other thing. There's the attention-seeking bit of him. Yeah, I think he would classify for maybe the Stern Wack Pack. Like, he's not much different than, like, a high-pitched Eric, I guess. He's I guess so. I don't know. I think he's putting on an act though, because I think High Pitched Eric on the Stern Show is putting on an act. I don't think he's like retarded or. I mean, he's definitely off. He's peculiar, but
he's not as crazy as he's putting himself out there as.
He asked me if I'm always like this. And in my head, I'm like, motherfucker, that's the question I ask you. Like, is he always like this? He was whack packing on. Like,
some of the most smartest people would agree with him. Would he?
Yeah.
Well, that's irrefutable.
And they wouldn't take kindly to any of your idiocisms.
Not one of those idiocisms. Yeah, that was fun. I'm glad we had him on. I've been wanting to talk to that guy in some way for years. Like I was with Harley in LA, like maybe I don't know how much longer after he'd had that phone call with Shoenice, and it's interesting to hear both of their versions of that phone call. But I remember like Harley's genuine opinion of that guy is that he's too crazy to work with. Because that's what he like told me in a back alley in Los Angeles while I was trying to vomit up the drinks that I had consumed for his stupid fucking show. He was like, yeah, he's really crazy. Don't deal with him. But that was fun. When Shoenice put the Donald Trump mask on.
Oh yeah, that was a very bad Trump mask.
Yeah. I'm still not over that. There was a point during that where I just cracked completely up and just had tears. That was pretty funny, I thought. I don't know, like you asked earlier. I guess I'm kind of switching around here, but you asked earlier, was that first hour good or not? I don't know if it's good. I don't know what it is to the fans, to the listeners, viewers, or whatever. But to me, that was one of the most fun hours of PKA we've ever done. Like for me, I really enjoyed every bit of that, listening to all of his madness, and that was fun for me. So maybe that translated to a fun show for the viewers.
It's probably like the hour and a half-ish segment that I've talked the least in my time on PKA, and I was very entertained because anytime like I wanted to say something, it was like, no, why cut into this guy's time? Like, let's see what's fucking happening here. Like,
yeah, you just try to slow him down every now and then because he'll start in Iraq and he'll end up getting, like to yesterday, and you're like, whoa, we got to yesterday. Let's go back to Iraq.
Yeah, you skipped over being in an insane asylum like that was going out for coffee.
And we didn't even ask more about why he was in some sort of special unit in the army for people who wanted to quit or something like that. He was in some sort of like unit in the army of like people that nobody wanted because they didn't want to do their duty or something, and he was a cook and. Man, so much more. There's just so much more there.
That's part of what makes me think that he's not totally crazy, and he's actually pretty clever. Is he uses the whole "I have a short attention span," this, that, and the other thing to, if there is a question that he doesn't want to answer, will give you a cursory little goof around response, and then before you know it, it's like, we asked about an insane asylum, and he's talking about giving corn to kids in Ghana. And giving them their own YouTube channel? What are we talking about?
I really liked the part where he said that. I just lost.
Where he was going to be a UFC fighter. He saved.
No. It was when you asked him about what he said in Vice about his wife kicking him out because of the fame, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I lied to them. She kicked me out because of my pill addiction." Just like, oh, that's great. That's perfect.
It was so just stone cold honest. Just so honest and so quick. No, that was bullshit. I got kicked because of my pill addiction. It's like, well, it looks like you beat it, I really hope he's doing well, though, because it's clear that he really has a lighthearted kind of a look at his. I don't remember. Maybe he just said alcoholism. I don't know if he had like a funny pun for it, but it seems if he really is struggling with that, I hope that he continues to do well, because that would really suck.
On the show, I see. Like originally, my idea was like we were, trying to figure out how to use Shoenice, what to do with him with the limited time we had with him, etc. And I was thinking like, why don't we have him start out by just drinking that bottle of booze, like kill an entire bottle of vodka or something, and then we go from there. And he's just getting drunker and drunker.
I thought that was a good idea because I was afraid he would be too sane and normal on the show. It turns out that wasn't an issue.
Saintly and manic.
Yeah, I was like, we need to get him get a bottle of vodka in there so that we have in it like a crazy person on the show. No, he comes that way stock. There's no modification needed.
He was getting high the whole time. I mean, it's not like he came to us sober.
Pot didn't do that to him. Oh, that was tobacco, by the way.
That'd be some really strong pot.
Yeah.
If he was, but when he leaned over to call Sparky, that was fucking hilarious, though.
And what he was like, is he giving his dog Is he giving his dog tobacco? I don't think so.
No, he's calling his lighter Sparky and smoking.
Oh, right, his lighter Sparky. I didn't even pick up on that.
Good. I like his hate for Harley, which seems completely unfounded.
I know.
He was like, "Oh, let me explain to you why Harley's a bastard," and he's like, "I talked to him on the phone once, cocksucker," and it's like. Yeah, wait, what happened? You talked to him on the phone, and now he's a cocksucker. What happened in the middle? Oh, he said something about me and my woman. It's like, no, I don't think he did at all. I think you're just a crazy person. You're a crazy person, aren't you?
Go ahead.
I feel like I don't want to hurt his feelings. Like, I don't want to call him a crazy person. He might be.
You called him homeless to his face. What are you talking about?
Okay, he is. I said he was like a homeless person.
It's like a poor homeless person yourself, a crazy homeless person yourself. So how can you really help anybody? And I was like, oh, that cuts a little deep.
If you looked at the way he responded, to that, he was clearly, like when we had the little conversation about how crazy he was, you could tell he was really enjoying that. He was enjoying talking about that because he was reveling in the fact that he has not only pulled the wool over our eyes, but the wool over the eyes of all of YouTube. He is quite possibly the best troll on YouTube. He's typing to us right now. He's still in the chat. Nobody removed him.
He is typing to us right now.
He
can't hear us, I don't think.
No.
I don't think.
I hope not, or he's just sitting there listening to us.
Christopher is typing.
Yeah. Okay, sorry I had to split, and sorry I
split.
tried to fit my whole life in one interview. That's what he wrote.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all right.
it's cool, bro.
Yeah,
We
I got
really
this.
enjoyed having him on. But
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm talking like he can hear me right now.
No worries.
But
Had a great time. Hit us up when you want to do a drinking episode.
Oh my gosh, you're a bad person.
we were having an idea of if he did like, I don't know, if he thought he could drink like a 30-pack in 4 hours, that me, you, and Kyle would have to team up and outdrink him.
Team PKA against Shoenice at beer drinking. Like we get each
What
of
did I
us has
type there?
3 versus 1 drinking contest. Bring it, bitch.
Sweet, I am even most funnier drinking.
I am even most funnier drinking, says the wordsmith himself.
And then he corrected his spelling of funnier to funnier. I don't know.
See, that's not
I think
crazy.
he's just a jokester. Like
He
is he just
really
fucking
enjoyed. He really enjoyed us talking about how crazy he was, because that's like a solidification of the fact that he's like, nobody knows what is up with me. People out there adamantly think I'm crazy. People out there think that this is all an act, and he's somewhere in the ether between those two. No one can pin him down.
It's just like I said when he was here. I feel like he's just like a homeless person that I might cross on the street who says something about the world ending in 10 years and how he belongs in the UFC.
Gotta feed the Africans, bro.
Yeah,
Get the hunger.
And I just like throw a
Country of
dollar and
Africa.
run in the other direction, as a way to like separate and create distance.
The cat's in the cradle of the silver spoon.
He's like that, except that he can perform this stunt that gets him YouTube money, enough of it that he can buy a condo in Denver. Like, if he couldn't eat Elmer's glue, he'd just be on a street corner babbling nonsense, right?
He said he was in roofing for 20 years, so he can clearly hold down a job.
He said a lot of things.
Yeah, he did. Well, good point. Yeah, he said that oh man, he's good at this. This is hard. He's doing like some bullshit, detective psychological thriller thing where he gives us 1,000 documents of information, and there's 3 that are semi-real. Piece the mystery together, idiots. Like that's what it is.
Yeah,
Sorry, guy.
I'm glad we had him on
and got to talk to him.
his
I enjoyed him as
frequent
well.
mentions of like how good looking he was and how he like slayed pussy in high school, and like everyone would dip their napkins in milk and throw it at him, and the girls couldn't get enough of that. And I'm like, oh, really?
I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that.
Really?
I believe that he stood in his cafeteria and let people throw food items at him.
Right. But do you believe the part about the good-looking class clown slaying all the high school pussy?
Oh, that was clearly hyperbole. Yeah, he was like making fun of himself some there, which like making fun of yourself like that shows a level of.
I believe he was trying to convince us
like
of that.
Straight up crazy person doesn't have.
You don't think he was trying to convince us that was true at that moment?
No. He was playing that up.
Like, I was in bed with this fine ass bitch, and Harley called me on the phone. And to me, that means I was in bed with a real ugly woman, and
I was masturbating.
Yeah, I was watching porn at the time. I tried to pull it off, like that moaning woman on the side was a real life girl.
Yeah, he's definitely not fully crazy. Not even that crazy, I would say. I think Chiz is going to do a complete 180 on his position with Shoenice because, and I did too. After watching the Vice thing, I was really like, man, maybe he is pretty crazy. And then, as talking to him tonight showed like, no, he's really just got a lot of people manipulated, master.
He does crazy. He's crazy. I won't say that he never has a thought that's bigger than just stream of conscious, right? Like obviously most of it is just stream of consciousness, bouncing around here and there, unable to like follow a topic for very long. You ask him a question, he forgets the question halfway through. I don't think that was all an act, but I will admit he's got a couple of like coherent, gems that he can pull up when it's appropriate. Still,
I thought the stand-up comedy thing was good and well practiced and interesting that he prefaced it by like, all right, so we're in Austin, Texas, right? Real country crowd, lots of cowboy hats, and I'm like, I've been to Austin. It's not like that. It's kind of a hippie town.
Yeah,
I don't think
Austin is the only. Yeah, Austin's the only city in Texas that's not like that.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like, I don't think he's ever been to Austin, Texas, but like that whole bit he had where he's doing stand-up comedy and he's like ragging on invisible people who aren't there. Like, I was so confused by that.
You could tell how confused we all were. If you guys are listening to this now, go back and listen to the Shoenice portion again, because there are so many times that he finishes saying something and I kind of like look at Woody's face and I look at Kyle's face and I think to myself, and I can see that none of us have any idea what to say or how to even process what it is we've just heard, because it's just an avalanche of misinformation that you're trying to wade through in the way to an interesting question.
When the dog barked and he tried to pick up Sparky, was there actually a dog or was he barking?
Okay, so there was a dog outside of his house, and he made reference to that dog and made a little joke about it that wasn't funny at all. But when he's saying Sparky, he's talking about his lighter.
Yeah,
he's like, let me feed Sparky here. What he means is he's gonna smoke some pot. There was no dog in the house, though. He doesn't own a dog. He has no dog.
That was quite.
He has no dog.
I didn't follow that piece like I should have at all, and it was there was a dog, and he's it's Sparky. Let me get him, and
I mean, it was a stream of consciousness with that guy. You got to be pretty fucking sharp and like focused on him the whole conversation, or you get lost in the weeds. It was hard to stay on board.
Yeah,
because he's a little crazy, and
I think people are
manic.
gonna really like it. I think they're gonna enjoy that part.
I hope so. So what else we got?